The Sith Empire once numbered in the thousands, but as their influence and power decreased, so did their numbers. And this wasn't all due to the Jedi, but rather the Siths themselves. But once Sith saw the problem and saw a solution, Darth Bane realized with the help of Revan that the Sith would destroy themselves if nothing was changed. So he enacted the rule of two, where only two Sith could exist at a given time, a master and an apprentice. It was a perfect solution. Their power would grow with little to no resistance, and best of all, the Jedi had no clue about it. But as we've seen in The Phantom Menace, the Jedi clearly did have some idea about what the rule of two was. But where and how did they find it out, and what did they do to act on it? So join me as we go on a journey to solve this question. The rule of two allowed a master and an apprentice to exist in the galaxy at a given time, and grow their power under the nose of the Jedi, waiting for this chance to get the revenge. And as we've seen, this would work so well that not only did they infiltrate the Senate, but the Sith would become the Supreme Chancellor. The way the Jedi would find out about this would be due to someone being at the wrong place at the wrong time. It would all start with a Jedi counselor known as Kib Jean in the year 188 BBY, when he and his master would be assigned to a mission to locate and study a very powerful dark side force presence on the planet of Almaz. And as they landed on the planet, they would soon discover the remains of an ancient Sith temple that has been abandoned for thousands of years, built by Darth Revan, not Darth Revan. Like most Sith temples, this place emitted a very powerful dark side energy. The energy emitted, though, would be so powerful that it would corrupt the apprentice Kib Jean and would make him kill his master and become a dark Jedi. After killing his master, he would explore the temple and study the notes of Darth Revan, becoming quite powerful in the dark side of the Force. He would also learn about the rule of two, due to Darth Revan existing during the rule of two. And after becoming powerful enough, he would take control over a large group of pirates and try to take over the sector. Eventually, the news of Jean and his master would reach the ears of the Jedi, and realized the threat that Jean posed, and sent a group of Jedi to go deal with them. And after locating them, the Jedi would engage them and destroy their fleet, and mortally wound Kib Jean. As he was dying, he would mutter a few words about the rule of two. After his death, the Jedi would bring back this information, along with some recovered journals from the temple, to the Jedi Council. But the Council would pass this off as just rumors and not act on it, even though this was the most important information about the Sith in hundreds of years. The reason they did this was because, at the time, the Jedi and galaxy have been at peace for hundreds of years and wanted to keep it that way. The wounds of the war with the Sith was still present in the Jedi, and they feared that another Sith war would ruin everything that they worked so hard for. And it would be because of this that the rule of two was not acted on and the Sith thrived. And the Jedi would continue to not act on it until it would be too late, when Qui-Gon Jinn would discover Darth Maul on Tatooine. After this, the Jedi would start to act on the problem seriously, and after Obi-Wan seemingly killed Maul, Yoda and Windu would revisit the notes of Revan about the Sith rule of two. They would even add their own notes to them. One very important margin is stated by Quinlan Vos. The Jedi learned about the rule of two over a century ago from the Sith cultist Kib Jean. Some of them did not believe it, though. Now that Obi-Wan's fight on Naboo confirms the truth about the Sith, the Jedi are more than ready to face up whatever the Sith have been cooking up for over 1,000 years. And as we've seen, the Jedi would not be ready to face whatever the Sith have been cooking up. And after revisiting the temple, Yoda would discover some text about the rule of two from Darth Bane himself, which is why Yoda not only knows who Bane is, but is familiar and educated in him, which is why Yoda calls him by his Sith name. This is why Yoda and Mace knew that there was another Sith after Obi-Wan defeated Maul. But without that encounter, I think it's safe to say that the Jedi would have done nothing about the Sith and would continue to ignore it. This really just goes to show how proud and arrogant the Jedi Order had become, believing that the Sith had been destroyed for good, even though there was proof that they can and will return. Even with 100 years of prep time, the Jedi still did nothing. But that is the story of how the Jedi discovered the rule of two and did nothing on it. What are your guys' thoughts on this? I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. And to my listeners on Spotify and other platforms, make sure to follow me. With that, my fellow Star Wars nerds, may the Force be with you.